Hello, I'm posting this video as a response to the Euclidean unlimited detail effects or whatever they're calling it video, mostly because the comments section was way too short to allow me to make my full point. I know you have no idea who I am and thus absolutely no reason to listen to me, so allow me to introduce myself. My name is Joseph Reineman. I'm a writer who also happens to have a CS degree and some experience in game development. And I am putting this up mostly because the video, while very impressive and making a lot of promises accompanied with some very pretty pictures, seems to be missing a lot, and I do mean a lot, of details that one would expect for a breakthrough of this magnitude. Okay, now forgive me, a lot of the more technically inclined people watching this, if there are any, will no doubt note that I'm going to be simplifying a lot of very complicated ideas concerning how computer graphics are created. So yes, I am aware that this is vast oversimplification, so please keep that in mind, that I'm just trying to create an overall summary to illustrate my point in as fast a time as possible, which I have completely contradicted by including that long disclaimer. So, anyway, the first thing I feel I should mention is that something that a lot of the comments in YouTube here seem to be forgetting, especially the ones which are suggesting that perhaps investors should be sending money to these people, is that they had a full year of silence during which they very well could have been developing that very pretty video we saw using conventional means. There is nothing there that could not be done with polygon graphics. In fact, to be perfectly honest, it looked a lot more like a pre-rendered video to me than anything done in software, because I didn't see any points where there was lag as the detail count increased on screen. I didn't see any signs that, you know, they looked around and found a less detailed area and suddenly the frame rate sped up. No, it looked like it was keeping a very consistent frame rate, which is what you usually find in a pre-rendered video where, frankly, the hardware is not an issue. As long as you give it enough time, say a year, it will finish. Second thing I wanted to point out was that they make a whole lot of, they're talking a lot about polygons. Fact is, something they don't mention, which I think most game developers would, think of, is that polygon count is not the key thing that uses up all the memory and processing time. The key thing is skinning those polygons with textures. Now, high-resolution textures are very big. In fact, they're usually larger than the geometry file by several orders of magnitude than they're being attached to. And so that's why with graphics cards, you need this large onboard memory to load up the textures so they're readily available. I have to say it is very obvious that whatever claims they may have made as far to eliminating polygons, they have not eliminated textures. In fact, they seem to be using extremely high-resolution textures. And to get all those high-resolution images sorted out and mapped to their little atoms with, that quickly and with that kind of speed and detail, that frankly would be a far more impressive miracle than removing the polygons from the equation. So I have to ask, why is it that they're not making any mention of this in their video? It seems to me that if I were, the coder who had created this technological marvel, I might brag about it a little, because that's something that could be applied not only to their unlimited detail system, but also to existing methods, and overall would be far more valuable. That, and I don't know, for a software development company They repeatedly say, "Oh, forgive us the fact that the area looks very, very similar." They say that this island they've created is a square kilometer. Okay, so why go to the trouble of creating a square kilometer and then show us a very, very tiny section of it? That's, even if they are telling the truth, that would suggest that they've got a really screwed up list of priorities here. Look, basically, I'm just producing this video. I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade. And if the folks at Euclidean are in fact legitimate, you have my sincere apologies, and I would love to get to play with this stuff once your SDK comes out. But I really have to say, at the moment, anyone who's talking, about donating and becoming billionaires off of this really should probably take a step back and consider, past incidents regarding the Phantom. I can't remember. There was another console which was actually a rather funny scam, which claimed that it would play every game that has ever been produced or ever would be produced through the magic of anodized aluminum casings. There are a lot of scammers out there who are trying to take advantage of people by offering the next huge leap forward, especially in gaming, because when it comes right down to it, a lot of the technologies that are introduced in gaming never actually end up making it to market, or if they do, it's very small and it doesn't get very widely spread. So it's really, really easy for these companies to prey on potential investors by making these kinds of promises. And then eventually either not producing anything or just producing a very, very scaled down version. Let's face it, when the Kinect was first introduced, it had a lot more features which never made it to market. By and large, people didn't notice. Likewise, they're in a position now where they could, in 6 months or 5 years or whatever, produce essentially just another rendering engine, which doesn't do half the things they claim it does. And once again, technically, they'd have completed their deal. They may have gotten millions of dollars in donations and no possibility of ever paying that money back, but their short-term goals would have been accomplished. And yeah, basically, if anyone saw the YouTube video and is now thinking, "Oh, I've got to get my checkbook," just all I'm saying is please take a moment, consider sanity, and yeah, just don't get too excited about this, because they really have not, and I'm speaking here as a computer scientist, they have not shown us anything that we have a legitimate reason to get excited about. Anyway, so if you have actually stayed through the end of this, congratulations, you've sat through 8 minutes of a guy in a funny fish shirt and extremely bad hair talking at you. If not, I feel I really don't have to say anything to you, because it would probably be a waste of my time, and, well, if you've stopped watching, obviously you consider this a waste of yours. So, anyway, thank you for listening, and, well, we'll see how this ends up working out.